Godzilla in Hell vs. Archie Sonic is not, and never gonna be close. Here's why. I have been watching for a long time that many people downplaying Godzilla in Hell against Archie Sonic just by saying he got killed by a planet-level explosion, which literally never happened, as IDW is not allowed to kill him in any IDW Godzilla comic. Anyway, I don't want to waste much time and will try to finish this video as soon as possible. First, I'd go with Sonic. So Archie Sonic cosmos is infinite in size, and the verse contains infinite number of possibilities, variations, worlds, alternate realities, and parallel universes. Then the verse contains extra-dimensional spaces, which would be imaginary world, the next evolution, which is a higher plane of existence and being above the imaginary world. And finally, the chaos force, which is a higher plane of reality that exists beyond the lower layers. This would make the cosmology at least 6 to 7D, but again there is a character called Sigma who is capable of transcending the 7D multiverse, which would make him 8D. And Sonic scales to this as he defeated Sigma and also uses chaos control to revert the effects of the Super Genesis wave, which causes the complete destruction of the multiverse, which would make Archie Sonic 7 to 8D at best. As for speed, Sonic can traversing through the cosmic interstate, which is stated to be a network that connects all zones of the multiverse, which would give him infinite speed. He also moved time forward with sheer speed alone. And like his 06 counterpart, he can fight with Archie Solaris, who functions same as its game version, who exists across the past, present, and future at the same time, plus he's above time on multiple occasions, which would make both Solaris and Sonic immeasurable in speed. As for haxes, Sonic have plot manipulation and can turn fantasy into reality, giving him subjective reality manipulation, defeated Enerjack, who's capable of achieving almost anything his imagination can think. With this power, he can warp reality, manipulate space, time, matter, and energy. His speed can move time forward, and Solaris is above time or have true dominion above time inherently. He can rewrite reality. He is resistance existence eraser and can resist the effect of the Super Genesis wave, which is able to erase everything in existence with no limitations. He also has fourth wall awareness, power nullification, being stated to be the embodiment of chaos, etc. So overall, Archie Sonic is 7 to 8D, or complex multiversal with immeasurable speed at best. Now I think this is kinda fair enough for Archie Sonic, but still he ain't beating Godzilla in Hell, so let's move into his scaling. Now all of you definitely know about his 6D to infinite 6D scaling, but let me summarize everything for those who believes he is a planetary level fodder. Now the IDW Godzilla universe is infinite in size, and the verse contains infinite amount of universes, dimensions, alternate dimensions, and timelines with various event changes and endings. Sometimes each issue being a different universe, and there are stories which we haven't seen yet. Now heaven, hell, and the real world are considered as different space-time continuums. Then hell seems to be a macrocosm which holds infinite-sized pocket dimensions. The IDW Godzilla multiverse is connected to Boom's Power Rangers cosmology, which is once again multiversal plus, but the verse includes beings such as Lord Draken, who shattered the morphing grid, which is a higher plane of existence. This make both Draken and the grid 5D at best. Now God Mountain is consistently stated to be the creator of the multiverse, who created everything in existence and views the cosmology as finite but himself infinite, which makes him 6D to infinite 6D. And now Godzilla scales to this as he killed God, which is consistently stated by the authors. Even this got backed up by the issue itself, which shows that the angels and demons accepted Godzilla as the replacement of God just because defeated him, or just became so strong that he just replaced him, like God is nothing against his power anymore. Which again got supported by the description of the issue 5, where God Demon is the strongest force of the cosmology and Godzilla just defeated him on screen, which again confirms that GH is 6D to infinite 6D. But the scaling is not end yet, cause these are just the stuff of his own verse, but then we have D&D crossover for GH scaling. Now Dungeons & Dragons had a crossover with IDW Godzilla, which is Godzilla Here There Be Dragons, which would include Dungeons & Dragons as a part of the IDW Godzilla cosmology. As we know that anything which is connected with D&D automatically becomes the part of their canon multiverse, and just because they have a crossover with IDW Godzilla, it basically implements itself into the cosmology. Now the D&D have a lot of high outer stuffs in their cosmology, and I won't explain every single shit from A to Z, but I will go over to the main stuffs which would at least make this 8D hedgehog look fodder to him. Now in D&D, each planes of existence are different realities and they have their own laws. The material plane is infinite in size and contains basic laws of physics like our universe, and also contains infinite number of alternate universes. Now all outer planes in D&D are infinite size, and the concept of distance being meaningless in the planes. The abyss is infinite in size and contains infinite number of layers, with each layer being its own reality. Now the 7 mountain heavens contains 7 layers, which each being infinite in size and also being higher dimensional to the last ones. In D&D, all dimensions are geometric and the multiverse is composed of infinite higher dimensions. Magic, time and space are all concepts on a multiversal scale. Now the far realm is a realm of nothingness which is beyond the known multiverse and beyond the concepts of dimensions, and the multiverse dimensionality holds no meaning to the far realm. It's also stated to be outside of time or beyond time. Geometry and the concepts of dungeons and dragons are nothing to the far realm. Now it is so high above the cosmology that immortals cannot comprehend something on its level. Now a god called Ao is beyond the concepts of divine ranks, transcends all gods, and exists beyond the concepts that bound all deities and considered a magnitude above all gods. Now luminous being was visioned by Ao, and he's beyond all conversational multiverses and possibilities of the D&D settings. Even the old ones are unable to comprehend luminous being's existence and everything born from luminous being, including Ao. But how this works for GH, so we know that D&D is a part of the IDW Godzilla multiverse, and GH is above his entire verse, which includes D&D. He also fought with God Demon, who again is the strongest force of the verse, which means he upscales the entire verse. Then Buddha stated that anyone from the verse is not capable of taking victory from him, as in the end of the issue he become a tier above everything in the verse. Now this makes Godzilla in Hell 6D to high outer versal at best. But many brats thinks that he is wall or building level, as his skin got pierced by a radio tower. But the truth is that everything that happened in this comic actually take place in hell, not in a regular physical world. Everything in hell are nothing more than a torture for him, as we know that hell and his tortures are Godzilla's greatest opponent, which means hell and its tortures upscales Godzilla and the entire cosmology. In simple words, that building is also 6D to high outer versal, which is enough for folding most of fictional verses like DBZ, Marvel, DC, Dark Tower, World of Darkness, etc. Now for speed, so Godzilla can walk through infinite-sized pocket dimensions, but then he is beyond stuffs like time, so he's basically immeasurable in speed. Now for haxes, we know all greater gods can recover from any kind of damage, which includes attacks that erase beings on a conceptual levels, which would grant high godly regen for them. Gods are concepts of symbols and can manipulate chaos and law. Greater gods can kill things with the thought, meaning they can manipulate fate, and they're omniscient as they already know about their opponent's next move just by sheer knowledge. Gods can undo actions with wishes, which would be casuality manipulation. Gods can bend reality and encompass all of reality and creation, which would grant conceptual manipulation and concept of embodiment. Gods can convince people that certain things don't or do exist and can shower them in disbelief, which would be subjective reality manipulation. Gods can force people to dance and dance of pain, which is Broadway force. SOD can removes all saves, which is resistances in D&D. Druid's decay can converts people into dust. Abjure can send beings to their plane of existence, and SOE can send beings into a confused pocket dimension. God Mountain is the concept of love. Gods can depower any number of gods. They can force beings to undergo eraser. Gods possess knowledge of any event in future that can affect them. Godzilla's true form is an energy which can't be created or destroyed. He was unaffected by God Demon plot, law, and narrative of hell. Godzilla can nullify God Demon's power nullification. He can resist God Mountain's mind control, can regrow his head after it gets cut off, and also possessed hellbats. He was capable of unaffected by a space that was erased into an empty void, which would be resistance to eraser existence, and that's pretty much it for his haxes. So in conclusion, who would win between the Hell's Nightmare or the fastest thing alive? Now I would say Godzilla folds Archie Sonic, as GIH is way above him in terms of power. Even Godzilla have better haxes and also can resist anything Sonic could throw at him. I'm not saying Sonic is weak, he definitely can beat other versions like the movie and anime ones, I guess. But Godzilla in Hell is just broken. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, now it's time for me to go sleep. Bye.